We need it done this year.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Mike.
Spencer. Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to talk about Decktective. Specifically, You Can't Cheat Death. This is a new one coming out at Gen Con, and we'll be there. I'll be there. You know, these guys will be walking around too. I will actually be working the DV Games booth. And full disclosure, I've loved every Decktective game I have played so far.
Yeah.
They do Decktective, they do Deckscape, they also do Bang the Dice game and Wonderbook. We are there specifically helping demo Wonderbook. But anyways, they sent us the Decktective, the newest one, You Can't Cheat Death. And so we're going to do a little video for you.
Yep. Now, obviously, this is a murder mystery kind of game. The whole point is spoilers, so we can't really show you too much. We'll just kind of show you the basics, and then we'll talk about the game. So.
Yeah. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to follow the instructions on the cards, right? So like this one just tells you do not shuffle these. They're in a specific order. Remove this from the game. Remove the deck from the game box, right? Then flip over this card, and it's going to basically tell you some of the rules on how it's played, the goal of the game. You're going to get the story.
Yeah, that one's this kind of setup. You'll see that. That's like story setup. Don't read.
And then these cards are literally like your crime scene, and it's going to tell you how to set up the crime scene. And this is like the bread and butter of this bad boy right here. This is so amazing.
You get the yellow one in
here.
there.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
It's that one. Oh, yeah.
And now we've got a crime scene here. And so you can look. And this was very useful, right? I mean, front and back of all these cards. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a hand of cards, essentially, depending on player count. And you're going to have to choose, basically, there's a, what is it, the dossier? So you have to discard.
Archive.
You have to discard some cards to the archive, right, to be able to play certain cards. But there'll be a little number, like in the corner, that'll have an archive symbol on it, right? So this one just says 2. Right, so there's got to be 2 cards in the archive for you to be able to play that card face up for everybody to see. Now, cards you discard from the archive, you can talk about at the end, but you can't say anything about it until it's the time, and it'll tell you when you can talk about everything.
Oh, yeah, there'll be a card that says you can now talk about everything.
Right, so the trick is if there's stuff that you have put into the archive, you want to try to remember just in case, because there are cards where it wasn't this game specifically, but there was one we were playing, and somebody had archived one, and it's like, you didn't think that was important?
No, yeah. I didn't see the thing that you guys saw on the card. Totally missed it.
Yeah, and it happens, right? And but anyways, so but that's more or less how this game is played.
Yeah, at the end, it's going to ask you questions. You got to answer the questions. You'll get points out of 10, and then however many points you get, it tells you how well you did.
Yep, and they give you these little clips, so you clip them on to where your answers are.
On the cards, yeah.
Let's go into components real fast. What's in the box?
So, components, deck of cards.
Deck of cards. But
and clips, I guess.
And the clips.
Good
but
cards.
I will say the cards are nice quality. The artwork is really good. The way that the information is broken down on the cards is interesting and also important.
Yeah, good card layout. It's not like they get shuffled a lot, so you don't have to worry about sleeves or anything like that. You know, especially since you just play the game once, and then you can gift it or sell it to someone else, and then they can play it and stuff. You know,
And these are sizable cards.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
bigger
these
than
are
playing
much
cards.
bigger than regular playing
Between
cards.
playing
So
cards and tarot.
I really like the size of the cards.
Yeah. And again, nice artwork.
And
yeah, I
and
mean,
at the end you have these clips, and it's going to ask you questions, and you're going to put
I'll
your
actually
answer
show
on
that.
using those clips.
I'll actually show that really quick just because for something so stupidly simple, I love it. So, like, basically, there'll be a list of answers, right? And you clip the one you're pointing to like this, and then at the end, when you have a flip it, you'll flip it, and then there's another arrow pointing at different boxes on the other side.
And I'll tell you
so
right,
the way that
right and wrong.
Yeah, it double lines up is just, really clever for being so simple.
And it will also break down like the whole thing, and it will reference you. It'll tell you the card numbers, like, oh yeah, clues are on this card number. So if you really want to go through and like diagnose, like where did we go wrong?
Yeah, what card did we discard that ruined everything?
Yeah. What did I miss on this card or that card? And again, like all of these games, they're so interesting.
I really enjoyed the 3D view of the crime scene. I wasn't sure how useful that would be when we started the game, but as we actually got into the clue cards, it was super useful. Like, we were referencing that a lot.
Yeah, integral, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and I don't want to go into spoilers, right? But I'll say sometimes when you play these also, the cards will be swapping out constantly stuff too.
something
Like,
like
so we played one once, again, nothing specific, but we played one once where it was a room, right? And then while we were working on something else, we heard a crash and we had to replace one of the cards because now the window's broken. So it actually changed out the artwork that was on that card to show that now the window's broken and things had changed. You know, so like, yeah, this whole 3D environment thing is fascinating, and and the fact that it's obvious that someone was just at house. And, you know, you have that problem where sometimes you accidentally put the lid in the base and you're like, and then someone was like, I can build things with this, you know? Like, it's just such a simple idea that then shaped an entire game system, and I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool.
The only other thing I'll say, right, is I like the artwork. You know, I don't know if it's for everyone, but I like the artwork, and I like that the font is a really good size. That's probably why the cards are slightly bigger, too, right? To make the
Easier
font,
to read.
like, it's going to be a lot of reading and a lot of looking at pictures, so make the card slightly bigger. That makes all that easier, right?
Yeah. Let's go into final thoughts.
Final thoughts!
All right, final thoughts. Let's share what we think about the game before we give our final scores. Mike, this is your first Decktective game.
It is.
What'd you think?
As a person that admittedly has played some unlocks, didn't really like them, I was very impressed with this game. I actually felt like I wasn't just playing a guessing game. That is how a lot of those games lead me to feel, like I'm just literally grasping at straws. I had enough information in front of me to make like judgment calls that made sense. Like I wasn't just grasping at straws and hoping that, you know, I find something that makes sense. I felt like the cards did a good job of leading me towards a conclusion towards the end. So I actually like this quite a bit. I was curious, does the box say what the suggested player count is? Is it just 2 to 4?
It could be 1.
I was just
Andrew
about that.
played this
1
one
to 4?
alone.
1 to 6.
6? Okay. Now this one, I think 6 players would make sense. I could see a lot of different brains helping out, whereas when you play an exit or an unlock, don't play those with more than like 3 people.
Same thing with a game that I think you talked poorly of lately, the app one. Chronicles of Crime is one that says it plays,
game.
You know.
Don't play it with more than 2. It's 2 people playing a game where other 2 people go, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
This did not have that feel whatsoever. I felt like everybody, well, what if, you know?
Well, it's integral. The game design itself goes into we all have some clues. And the information I have, no one else has. And so it makes everyone important.
I also like the decision that they put you into where some cards you're going to put face down, so that allows us to play more cards, but you're not going to get to talk about that evidence. So you need to put your worst cards face down and then try to build up the archive enough to play your useful information cards. I like that crux of like, okay, is this useful yet? Well, this isn't yet, but could it be based on more cards that come out later? I really liked how that worked. So I thought this was pretty cool.
But some of the early cards also have really good evidence on them, and you're more likely to trash those and forget the evidence.
Right.
Yeah. That's true as well.
I'll also say for anyone out there who has played other Decktectives, and then is like, you know, looking at this one, right? I mean, first of all, it's a murder mystery in a casino, right? So if the theme gets you, that's going to be the first thing. But then also for this one, sometimes the archiving of the cards, you know, I haven't really seen this, Mike. Sometimes the archiving of the cards does a really good job of symbolizing time passing as well. We've played one before to where, so remember, say that you need 2 archives to play this card, but you need 5 archives to play this card, and that really well, because so I can only play the walk into the entrance card this early because we have 2 archives. His card of visit the upstairs of the house needs 6 cards archived. So it's literally building a scenario in your head where the time it takes you to do things is making sense and building a story and is really cool. This one doesn't really have that. This one focuses more on the mystery and less of exploring. And so there's not really a time passing feel that you're going to have in this one. It's just use the clues, you know, put the case together. You really are just detectives in this one. So yeah, I don't know. For you out there, you know, wondering about this one.
Spencer, final thoughts?
Yeah. I'm not certain. I might have liked this one more than the others. It was challenging, but not impossible. it had some really cool twists, and all of us came up with something that was integral to the answer at the end. So it just had that perfect amount of difficulty, and yeah, I really liked it.
Dan, you got anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought this one was fantastic. There was something about the case that this one presented that we thought was just really well thought out, like just a really good case. And again, I almost think that this one almost relies on the mechanics, like more than some of the other stuff. Like this one is just a detective case when compared to some of the other Decktectives that I've done. And I really liked that a lot. I'm trying to think. There was something else I wanted to mention, but it's not coming to my head right now, so you can just go on.
No, I mean, I love all of the Decktective games that I played. I think this is either the third or the fourth. I played Gaze of the Ghost, Face in the Mirror, and maybe this one. This might be, I might have only played 3. And I think there's one other one. I was giving Bryce a hard time. I'm like, what? There's another Decktective game and you haven't told me about it yet? I think that this is a fantastic line of games. Out of the escape room in a box style games, these are my favorite. Like you said, there's a mechanic to this, the card play mechanic to this, right? Where you're deciding what evidence to withhold and what evidence you need to share is so much more interesting to me than just, let's say, an exit or a deckscape where it's like, oh, well, now we got to solve this puzzle, then we're going to flip over this card and we can see if we get it right and wrong. You know, like those are fine, and I appreciate those. But this was like a whole different level, you know.
It's like there's been a puzzle and a game.
Yeah, there's a gaminess to this, and it really, it was really a lot of fun and provided an excellent experience for me. Anything else?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Let's go into our final rating.
I had a really good time.
Tim,
Yo,
please introduce someone.
let's do this. Let's first, Dan, how do we do our rating, sir?
Yeah, how do we
back
do
to
that?
me. Well, seeing as how you guys still haven't caught on, I'll explain. So we're each going to give the game a 1 out of 10. I'll look at this one because it's more personal. Hi. We're each going to give the game a 1 out of 10. And that is in case you guys agree with one of us more than others for the most part, right? You can get our personal opinions separate. But then at the end, we're going to average them all together and give you one score for places like Board Game Geek, Discord, stuff like that. It's just easier to have kind of a Board Game Rundown umbrella score for games rather than 4 individual scores. And, you know, averages, they're nice. The averages tend to be more correct.
Yeah, sure. All right, Mike. Where
gonna
would you
start
rate
with
this
me.
bad boy? Yeah.
So,
let's just go in that order.
as I had said, I have played the Unlock games, and I didn't like it that much. I've played the Exit games, and they're okay.
Yeah, ups and downs, sure.
I've played Chronicles and Crime, and that made a different list because I did not enjoy it, and I enjoyed this a lot.
Right on.
This experience was a lot of fun. I felt like the cards were useful. I felt like everybody was able to contribute evidence that helped us eventually solve the crime. I didn't think there were wasteful cards. I didn't feel like I was guessing. I liked that I had to actually make a decision of what card to discard and which ones to play face up. So I would definitely recommend this, and I'd give it an 8.
Right on. Spencer.
For all those reasons and more, I'm giving this one an 8.5.
Yep. The last thing I want to say, because people will be curious, is we got a 7 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to care about that so that you can say, haha, we're better than
Our
you.
score on the game.
Yes. Our score in the game, we got a 7 out of 10.
Just making sure you clarify.
Yeah.
that.
Meanwhile, I'm giving the game an 8.5 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No one else is doing it. I gotta
Nobody
pull
else
this
is
out.
doing it. Bob's not here, and you're not doing Bob's
point.
job.
My phone's dying.
I'll do it.
Oh, our aggregate.
Yeah,
score.
aggregate score.
Whoops.
I will.
While they're doing that, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Exactly.
Said I was in Bob's seat. I got to do something.
Yeah,
over
right.
here.
Yeah, this is. Gosh, I was like an 8.5 or a 9 on this because
Wow.
I just really had a good time solving this.
It was
I
good.
think an 8.5. I think all the Decktectives really kind of fall right in that spot
Yeah, I
for
agree.
me, and this is just another great one along in the line of it. So,
I'm looking forward to other designers seeing DV Games' genius thing that they've done here and and seeing it spread to more games and stuff. 'cause this is awesome.
I'm hoping that one of these guys is actually going to be at Gen Con
Right.
so that I can gush
Oh, yeah.
while he is trapped because I'm working the booth with him. All right, Spencer.
All right, so you add them all together, divide by 4, and we get 8.4.
Thanks for describing how
right.
averages work.
percentages work.
I need to make certain that I don't know their level of education.
Listen. Oh, boy. Thank you for mansplaining that.
Oh, boy.
It's
There
8.4.
we go. All right, yeah, that's a really solid.
So these are going to be available at Gen Con.
At Gen Con.
If you're there, and if you're not, I mean, order it off Amazon
Yeah,
or go to your
it's-
FLGS.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
probably $15, and I will happily sell you one. And if you go there, and because of this video, tell them the Board Game Rundown sent you.
Yeah.
Unless it's me. Then I'm going to tell everybody that bought one that, oh, they said the Board Game Rundown sent them.
Ridiculous.
Well, All right, guys. Anything else before we say goodbye to the nice people?
No, just guys, if you haven't played a Decktective, pick the theme that interests you the most and pick it up.
Yeah.
It is so cheap, and you get a fantastic deductive experience when you do it.
Yeah. I look forward. I think I'm going to give this one to my sister and find out what they think, and then they'll just pass it on to their game groups. That's the best thing to do with these things.
Sure.
Is just share the love.
And actually, at Origins, by the way, they were giving these away for cheaper. They were giving away for lower than normal
MSRP,
price slightly.
so
yeah.
they were like $10
So
instead of 15 or something.
so if you're at Gen Con, you might be able to pick some of these up for however percentage off that is. Spencer, how does that work?
That would have been 33%.
Thanks, buddy. Spencer. I needed it from him.
All right, guys. For the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Mike.
I'm Spencer.
Dan.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.